Hello, and thank you very much
Yeah,
for everything.
yeah.
I seem to be in a vortex that my manifestations begin very well, very powerful, but they don't follow through to the end.
Well, they are meeting your expectations. So, from which tuning are you getting those expectations? Are you getting them from your physical world, your physical experience, your history, your memory, or are you getting them from the vortex version, from your inner being's version? And the answer is obvious, isn't it? If it's falling short of what you want, it's because you're tuning from the wrong pile, so to speak. And that's easy to do. Almost everyone does it in varying degrees. But how might you get out ahead of that? In other words, this is an important question. Do you think, does it seem to you that you've lived enough life and collected enough data that you know enough about what you want? In other words, does it feel to you that all of the ingredients are in the vortex and now it's just a matter of letting them mix up correctly and you receive them and follow the impulses? Or does it feel to you that there is more unfinished business and that you're still collecting data and therefore you're not quite ready to let it in because it's not clear within you? Do you think you've launched the rockets? Are you ready to let it ripen and flow into your experience?
I think so, yes.
All right, so if that's the case, and we agree with you, if that's the case, then that means it is simply a matter of you not being aware of from which influence your thoughts are coming. So talk to us a little bit about it. What is it that you are asking for?
Many things. Abundance.
So many of these things are, what were your opening words to us? Meeting your expectations. Many things in my life, Abraham, are meeting my negative expectations.
Yes, okay. Yes.
So on the other end of that negative expectation stick on these many subjects is a positive expectation that my inner being is holding, but I'm not tuning into it all that often.
The momentum goes from, I believe it always starts from the higher power, from my higher source.
Okay, so it begins and it feels good for a while, and then when does it start going south? In other words, at what point, and we know you can't answer this exactly about everything all at once here, but how far does it feel to you that it goes before it begins to slow down and get sluggish?
I've learned how to deal with contrasts, so I would
Is
say...
it when other people get involved?
Not always. Not always. Not always.
Well, give us an example of something that started out, felt good, got some momentum, and then stalled out. Can you give us an example of something?
Yes, joining a certain business and partners not thinking that the business would be wonderful, successful, fun, travel, money.
So the idea of it was pure. There was no resistance. It was easy to maintain your alignment until when?
Until
you looked at the reality that wasn't the same.
I looked at the reality that wasn't the same, and I could feel it in advance.
So are you saying to us that you need reality to keep up with your dreams better? If reality would keep up with your dreams better, then I dreamed it, reality followed it. I dreamed it more, reality followed it. I dreamed it more, reality followed it. That seems like a really easy way to go. And that's how it would be if you could stay focused upon where you're going and not face reality so quickly. But reality shows up. They come to meetings, they say things, they have had past experiences, they have their own doubts and fears, they've got their own junk going on in their own families, they're not taking care of themselves, they stayed up too late last night and drank so much last night, and I
had so many years where my manifestations were 100%.
Really?
Coming from that side, yes. About
No, we didn't say really, we said really.
Yeah, I was able to manifest incredible things all the time.
So what's changed?
I really don't know. It feels like in my heart something changed, deep in my inner being.
No, your inner being didn't change. Your relationship with your inner being may have changed, but let's keep talking about this in a practical way. We'll take you at what you believe to be your experience, and we're not questioning or doubting it. There was a time in my life when I wanted something and I believed it and it came about. And then there was something else that I wanted and I believed it and it came about. And those around me kind of saw me wanting it and believing it and it coming about. And I heard from them a little bit, because how does that happen? That's not logical. You're beating the odds. It can't last. That can't last, they said to you. It's not logical. And so, is this an accurate statement? I would win, and I would win, and then I didn't win, and then I would win, and then I didn't win, and then I didn't win, and then I would win, and then I didn't win, and didn't win, and didn't win, and then I would win, and then I didn't win, and then I didn't win, and I didn't win. And because I was facing reality, the winning got a little diminished and the didn't winning got a little more momentum, until I began believing that more than I believed that.
Actually faster than that. It actually happened faster than that.
Say more.
I was in a momentum, a positive momentum, a magical spiritual momentum for decades, and it seemed to be a flash event, and I couldn't shake it. And it seems like that event, and I've read a lot about, this type of a trauma or that, and how to get around it and go back to your source. But it seems from that event, an event or two in a row, that I lost my, let's say, confidence in that.
What you are demonstrating here through the life experience that you are recalling, it's exactly what we've been talking about in this time we've been together this morning, is that it is so easy, we understand, it's so easy to let reality as it's happening play a more dominant role in your vibrational patterning. It is so logical, because you can see it and hear it and smell it and taste it and touch it. And there are so many humans who are surrounding you who really are not tuning in. There are a lot of people talking about positive momentum. There are a lot of people talking about positive thinking. These are not new conversations. These are words that people have been mouthing for a long time. But until you get to the vibrational essence of it, until you utilize your emotional guidance system and really understand the science of this energy and are able to apply it regardless of what anybody else is thinking about it. Think about the leading edge. Esther has been hearing about Einstein her whole life, or nearly so it seems. And one of the things that she has been reading recently that she did not know about him is that his theories and his processes that he came upon, they were all in his mind. He would play these thought games and he would work them out in his mind until he was sure that there was not anything that was amiss within his theory. His theory, not his practice. He was not practicing it. He wasn't doing the mathematics of it, or he wasn't doing the chemistry of it. He was theorizing. He would find a state that he understood was solid, and then he would theorize just past it, which is exactly what we are all doing in these conversations that we are having. And when he could feel the stability of his theory, then he would share it with his colleagues who lived in many different countries around the world, who came from many different places, and they would take his theory and then they would put it to practical tests. And his practical tests always proved his theory, because his thoughts were out ahead of it. Do you see what we're getting at? And so this is the same sort of thing. You're wanting to find your vibrational footing. Your creation has never been before into all of the universe. So you can't look to other creators or to other exposure to other experiences in order to gain your sense of stability, to gain your sense of sureness. You have to take what you know and what you've learned, and then you have to make the correlation between what you were thinking then and what you were feeling then. And better still, rather than going back and trying to figure out what went wrong in all of those things that are not that active now, that you can't even regurgitate in a very powerful or way that is very meaningful to you, instead start right now with something that you want and pay attention to how it feels and get the footing feeling solid, and then take your action, not because someone else is prodding you into it, or not because you remember some behavior or some activity that at one time worked for you. Those old things you used to do don't work for you in your new vibrational momentum. You have to find new inspiration from that new momentum. Old theories don't work with new intentions. It must come from this vortex of non-resistance. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
We have enjoyed this immensely. Very good time for a segment of refreshment.